So today I really need to get these rams pulled out of their groups of ewes and into their individual pens over at the bank barn. So I'm actually a couple weeks later getting these rams pulled out of their groups than I wanted to be. Initially, my plan was to get them pulled out a couple weeks ago, but that weekend I was planning on doing it, ended up getting held up at work on an emergency all weekend. And then last weekend, ended up having some issues over at the bank barn. I was doing some cleaning up and had some equipment issues. Ended up kind of focusing on that. Didn't really get any time to get them moved, and we were getting some snow at the beginning of the week, so I didn't want to do it Sunday night and throw them over there right before a snowstorm. So I decided to put it off. Well, the first part of this weekend, we were down at the North American International Livestock Expo. We took a ewe down there for sheep bleed. We got back late last night, ended up getting everybody fed. Went over to the bank barn this morning, got everything set up on the pens. I got one more gate to wire in, but what I got now is the trailer hooked up here to the truck. I'm gonna try to get the rams to come over to me. This one, I know he's basically over it. I don't know if I'll be able to catch Mystic Mac over there as easy. He's always eluded me. He's pretty rambunctious in that pen he used, so we're gonna have to just see. But I'm gonna just try to get him a halter on, get him on the trailer, and we'll get him over and unload it. Whoa. 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 Man. Well, that solves that problem. Whoa. Hey. Whoa. 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 Whoa, bud. Whoa. Whoa, bud. Whoa. Whoa. No. No, I gotcha. I gotcha. Whoa. 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 You're okay. Whew. Caught him. Let's get on the trailer. Come on. All right, big girl. Good boy. Hey, come here. Come here, good boy. Come here. Hey. Hey. Normally, here in the last probably week and a half, since none of the ewes have been getting marked, whenever I got in the pen, I've never had an issue with him. He's snorted at me, tried to run me out of here. So I got in the pen to see if I get him come up to me here, so I can slip this halter on him. But so far, he ain't taking the bait. Hey, hey. Hey, hey, come here, come here, come here. You're okay. Look, look, buddies. Me and you buddies. Whoa. Good boy, buddy. Good boy. You're a good boy, man. Big old head on you. Hit this thing in there. Yeah. Gotcha. Gotcha. Whoa. Hey. Hey, good boy. So he ended up coming up. He kind of dropped his head a little bit. I ended up just reaching out, rubbing his cheek. That's what he likes. He likes that when I rub his cheek, or right here behind his ears, and between his eyes and his ears. So we'll go ahead and get him loaded up. So we're over here at the bank barn. I got the pen set up for the two of these guys. They got straw down. That other ram in there is going nuts a little bit. He knows something's going on. He's usually pretty easy to catch. He's standing over in the corner just beating on the gate. I think he knows he's getting pulled out. I know it sounds crazy, but he's ready to go. What I want to do is go ahead and take Mystic Mac off the front of this trailer first, put him in his pen. That way he's not I just, maybe in my reasoning, I guess, is if he's in there first, it's not like Earl's in the pen next to him thinking that he has to fight him through the middle divider because another ram came into his area. So I'm just doing it this way. I don't know if it makes any sense, but to me it kind of does. But I'm going to go ahead and drop their harness as soon as I grab a hold of them. I left the halters on them. They both rode over here just fine. But I'm going to grab their harness off, their marking harness, and leave it here in the trailer as I take them in. I got maybe about an hour of daylight left. So I still want to get them in there pretty quick, get them fed and watered, so that way they got a little bit of time to chill out. Come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. Good boy. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa. Hey, hey, hey. Whoa, whoa. Get that off you now. Okay, let's go to your pen. You ready? Hop on down here. Oh. Whoa, bud. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Come here. Come here. Whoa. Don't be scared, buddy boy. Hop on out of here. Come on now. Over here, bud. In here, come on now. Earl, come on. In. No, don't turn around, buddy. Whoa, whoa. This is your pen. Now we're gonna see if we get lucky with this guy. It looks like, look at him. He's coming down here right now. Coming right here to me. He's been beating on this feeder, smacked on these gates. He's ready to go. He's a little bit older. Well, I mean, he is older than these other two. And he, come on, bud. Put your ear through there. He's a little bit older. He's been moved around more. He's used there, making some club lambs where he got in different groups of ewes. So he's been handled a lot in the sense of moving from one spot to the next. And he only has a short move, as long as no ewes follow him out. Spin around, bud. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So this is his current pen. This is where he spent last winter at also, right here in the corner. And then I have basically two 8x8s set up here with a metal gate in between. Mac will be here on the end. The reason for that being he doesn't really bounce off gates as much as Earl has in the past. And so this little 1x gate should be okay for him up front. But Earl has metal all around him. Couple reasons for that being this is Earl's first time, other than the time he left his birth farm to go to the auction, the sheep showing auction. This is the first time he left our house. He's here, I think, in the beginning he came, we picked him up at the Greenville sheep show and sale in May, and then we brought them here. And I think him and those 2 ewes stayed here for a couple weeks. And then we ran him home, and he's been there ever since. And so now he's back here. And currently, it's looking like he'll probably end up spending the winter here. And I'm not too worried about this weather type ram, really. He did all right over here by himself in this corner with no sheep right up next to him. But Earl has always had a pal right next to him or shared a fence line. He usually had done pretty good. We haven't really had any problems out of him. Mystic Mac, he since we picked him up, he has shared fence line with another set of sheep and ewes, and he actually shared a line with this weather type ram here right before breeding season. So he has done a good job in that grand scheme, but I'm more nervous about him and Earl over here right now. And the reason why I'm nervous about these two, there's 2 little bit different reasons. One is that they're both our registered Suffolks, but Earl really hasn't been away from that barn there at the house. So I'm really curious just to see how he'll do. He's pretty much a baby. Most of the time he wants to come right up to you. You can check him out when he's not in with those ewes. He does an extremely great job. He's very timid in the sense of when you get in the pen around him when he's not around ewes. So I'm just kind of more or less nervous a little bit to see how that he'll act. I don't want to see anything happen to him. Don't want to try to get hurt getting out of that pen. And then with Mystic Mac here, nervous about him also. The reason why I'm nervous about him is he's will be our yearling ram next year up at the Ohio State Fair that we'll take to some shows. And also Mystic Mac was expensive, and we don't want anything to happen to him for a couple of reasons. And I think he'll be okay over here for a while. I plan on redoing the barn at the house, setting up the pens completely different, going into lambing, and I'm hoping to make an area to bring Mystic Mac back over there. That way we can continue working with him, slipping that halter on him in the barn in the middle of winter, even if I'm just moving him around right there inside the barn, just keeping him fresh as he grows and gets bigger. So what I want to do now, I need to go ahead and get everybody fed and watered and get their pen set up and just kind of take care of all the ewes that are over here and the lambs up top in the lean-to, and then we'll check on these guys again right before we head back to the house. So we got everybody moved over. I ended up pulling his harness off, his marking crown. I'm losing daylight right now. Here's Mac and his pen. He seems to be doing okay. Of course, they're going to rub around a little bit. And Earl right here. And the more I thought about it while I was feeding everybody, Earl's been to the state fair twice. He stayed up there, been to some other sheep shows. So maybe I was a little too worried, I guess. I wasn't thinking about that, about him moving out of the barn at the house. But he seems to be doing okay. Nobody's yelling. These two can get next to each other. That guy down there does okay by himself. He can, as long as he can see sheep, he seems to be okay. He's probably at the end of his run here at our farm, just because it'd be the second crop of lambs out of him. We'll probably hold back some of his ewe lambs. And I believe he's getting ready to hit 4 or 5 years old. I got to look and see. So we'll probably end up keeping him through this winter and finding a sale for him. But currently, these two guys seem to be doing okay. Nobody's freaking out or anything. They got their hay baskets. That's one thing. I got hay basket there in a corner for him. Hay basket here for him. This guy doesn't have one because he headbutts everything, tears everything up if it's hanging there on the gate. So I don't want to ruin a hay basket on him right now. I'll have to make something up for him. But we're going to go ahead and gather our notebooks from the breeding season here at the bank barn and compare them to the ones at the house. Kind of see how many days left until we have lambs expected. So now that I got the rams pulled out of their ewe groups and over in the bank barn, I went ahead and grabbed these file folders that I picked up. I picked up 3 of these, 1 for each ram. I just got a couple pieces of loose paper in there and a pen, and then that way, what we tried to do during their first 2 rounds with the marking crown, we were very diligent in marking down which ewes got marked and the dates that they were getting marked. The only issue we did have in the beginning was the second crown color there with Mac. It fell off on probably day 4 to 5 right in there. I went ahead and got a same color crown put on him on day 6, and it fell off by the end of day 7. And at that point, I just left the crown off of him for the rest of that cycle. That way I didn't try to add a 3rd color to the mix and then just pick back up. As we were pulling him out of the pen today, he ended up jumping on the back of a couple of these ewes, but he wasn't doing anything. He was just hopping up on their backs. So he really marked up his ewes a lot every cycle. And, you know, I just kind of add that up, hopefully, to his inexperience and him being a young ram and just in there messing around. So I'm hoping that was the case with him, because he got a lot of his ewes marked in the second cycle, at the end of the first, into the second, and then he lost that crown. So we'll just kind of see how that goes. But based off of the data that I have, our earliest markings, we are about 50 days out from lambing, 50 days to the first possible day, but 59 to the ideal lambing date based off that mark. So I got a lot of work around the farm I need to get done before then. I want to change a lot of things going into lambing this year, and with getting that real data of only having about 50 days till I have to be ready, that means I need to really get on it and get a lot of this work done and wrapped up. But that'll wrap this one up. Thanks for watching.